Hi guys, welcome back to Kpop Talks. I'm your host, and today we're gonna review some of the worst albums. Hi guys, welcome back to Kpop Talks. I'm your host, and today we're gonna make the list, or I'm gonna show you the list of what I consider to be the worst albums of March 2023. There's so much to talk about. Maybe for some of you will be also some interesting picks, but I think overall these are the worst albums of this month that we just we're right middle to April, so it's like ended a couple of weeks ago. First, we have Kai Rover. I thought Kai released a lot of really good music, honestly. This was for me a very big disappointment. I liked a lot of the stuff he has released prior to this, and this to me felt all over the place. A lot of really weird production choices, even plagiarism. I'm not saying that SM is not known for that sometimes, but not in the music. And what is Kai's elegance and Kai's sexiness and charisma, like in his previous songs and EPs, where he was showcased, it completely is not there anymore. Was a huge disappointment. The single was a huge disappointment. Overall, a big no for me for Kai Rover. I was really surprised how this project was overall very lackluster. Next, another really anticipated project for me. Again, Jimin with Face. This is a similar problem to another project I'm going to talk about later, but how come a group and a company that has all the money in the world, they can get the best producers, the best writers, showcase something like this? Because if you compare something like this to Billy is a small group. They come from a small company, and yet their music sounds fresh, new, different. Half of the songs in this one, Jimin has effects on his voice. Half of the productions are no different than stuff that BTS has been doing the last 4 or 5 years, which has been very uninspired in my opinion, production-wise. And on half of the stuff, actually, most of the stuff you hear here, it's boring. It's not what I want to hear from Jimin. I don't want to hear, we value creativity in Big Hit or in Hype, and then I hear this basic ass pop music, because J-Hope sometimes does that. I think RM, I think in the sense that he puts some personality. Same thing RM and Suga, but the problem is that even when they put it, eventually there has to be the commercial song there. There has to be the song with IU in a August D project. There has to be a song that is supposed to chart in the top 100. There has to be that. And I think for a group that you're gonna chart regardless, let's stop with the bullshit. BTS is such a big group and their fan base is so rabid and they're so supportive even that it doesn't really matter half the time. You can be the type of person that even if you're not the biggest fan of this, they'll stream it 24 hours a day. That's how BTS fans are. So why not prioritize quality songs? Why not prioritize quality productions? Why not prioritize quality concepts instead of this bullshit? Because I praised J-Hope and RM last year, but as I've always said and I've always believed, the rappers are the best artists in the group, and the other 4 guys, as sad as it is to say, they're just performers. And I think we can hear it even more evidently in this project where they don't know where to go. Like, if you think about this and you think about also Jin's song, right? How am I supposed to be hyped for Jungkook's project that he has claimed, oh, I've had it ready for millions of years ago, they never allowed me to release it? We'll see, but this is not a good sign, I think, for the rest of the company, that this is your biggest group by far, this is the biggest group by far in the industry, and they're not the leaders in terms of quality, which historically, as you know, in K-pop, it's not a in K-pop. If you're the biggest, normally you're also the leader in terms of quality. Rarely it's not the case, in my opinion. So BTS unfortunately has become one of these rare cases where they just don't make good music anymore. And I'm not saying that overall they make good music, it's just that there isn't that interest like it used to be 10 years ago when they started and they need to make money, they need to get known. There's no interest anymore, and I think we can hear it more and more in these solo projects by the members, and I think we're gonna keep hearing it even in the V project and Jungkook project before they go into the military. Next we have LOREN with Put Up a Fight. I never liked LOREN. This album is not good, but there is some improvement, I would say, but too much. he doesn't have a style. Like, he sounds too much like people. Like, he copies too much from classic alternative bands. He doesn't have an interesting vocal ability. His production choices are boring. But he is popular. He's edgy, so people like him. He's good looking, so he's one of the best. But overall, I don't get these why the black label is really investing on this guy. And they're doing it low key, but they're really investing on him. For example, where look something like Extraordinary Heroes, I don't think Joey is investing on them as much as he should. For example, just to give you an example of two labels and how they work very, very differently. You know. Next, if Jisoo with me, now you'll say I'm just cheating because it's only 2 songs. I don't give a fuck. I think any company that is as big as YG, any group as big as Blackpink, it's, I think, a crime to release songs like this. Please, Blackpink fans, you love to use your power for cancer, right? Bothering, poor people on the internet you don't know, people that you know. Go and bother Teddy. Cancel Teddy. Don't make him work in this group's music anymore. Just because I feel like every time he does it, it's like the group is just worse, And if you listen to even their latest project that came out, which I think was called Pink Venom, the best part of that album was the songs that Teddy didn't produce, at least, or the ones that he didn't produce alone. Every song that he produced alone were terrible. So remove him from there, cancel him, do something, put a truck outside, says we don't want him anymore. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of his style of music. I'm tired of the way he makes music. It's fucking cancer. And Blackpink, listen, if you don't want to be in the industry, just move on. Like, there's no point in saying Jisoo does not want to sing. She wants to act, she wants to do other things. Why stay? She made so much fucking money. I don't think she really need more than that, in my opinion. And this is my sentiment, for them specifically, they're so big outside of the music because they're huge in terms of aesthetics, in terms of modeling, in terms of looks. That's their biggest appeal, I would say, for people. So I could see Jisoo becoming one of the biggest actresses in Korea easily. Jennie, she could become a huge fashion icon and all that bullshit. I don't think music is for them anymore. Because I don't think they have the interest. And I feel like this type of releases really showcase that. And it's sad. From, again, a group that, in my opinion, had the most impressive rookie debut ever. Next, we have the BOYZ with Be Awake. I think for me, it was more of a disappointment more than just saying it's bad. I like the BOYZ, but this project following She's the Boss, I just don't think it really is it at all. It's productions I don't like. The songs in general not that catchy. The vocals are okay here and there. They also don't seem to really like the idea of trying different things, so they'll go with the same formula they do every time, kind of the same rotations of singers every time. They never really inserted the rapping very well on this project, even though there isn't much of it, in my opinion, that it's like even you notice it in the background for most times. I just think just move on. Again, another let's start fresh with something different with the 9th EP at this point. The last one released with NMIXX with Expergò. Now, I don't hate this project because I still respect the JYP is trying to experiment it, but I think this album is completely wrong. I think it's too disconnected. It's all over the place. One moment they go here, one moment they go to complete the other way. I don't really get it, and I think some of the songs are very, very obnoxious. It's not a terrible project. I feel like there's way worse stuff in this list, but to me, after a good run of singles, I wish they followed it with a better album, because the single they released with this album, it's atrocious, and I don't know who thought to do that concept with that production, that chorus. Like, whoever thought that he needs to be fired, if it's JYP himself, fire him, remove him, do like what he did to this Woman Innocent. Because that's fucking unbearable and unacceptable in my opinion. Having said that, this was it. Surprising. And this was it. Short list, a lot of things that I don't like, a lot of disappointments, a lot of sadness, because again, I think for K-pop to be big, you need the big groups to really hit it with the music, and I don't think that has been the case in the last 5 years. You know, maybe five, no, say four. 2019, I think there's still something like this, but removed twice from the equation. Who's really doing it consistently every single comeback? Nobody. Even Stray Kids is not doing it because they are also very formulaic right now when they do things. Rarely really stir it up. BTS is in the fucking bin. They're going to the military for a couple of years. Blackpink is in the bin. I think it's time to really accept the fact, boys, that we have to hope that these newer generation groups, specifically girl groups, and hopefully even boy groups in the future, to really push it, because New Jeans values equality. I've sometimes does right now, not always. So we have these groups. 50/50 seems very potentially popular. Obviously, XG, like there's certain groups that look like they have that ick factor, but I don't know how popular they can really get. I mean, IVE is already declining in popularity. Same thing for the Seraphim. New Jeans seems like they've kind of lost that mojo as well, releasing specifically this song for Coca-Cola. People are not really vibing with it at all, so we'll see where it goes. Tell me what were your least favorite and the worst albums in your opinion of the month. Be honest, we're talking about the music, not the idol, and not the person, specifically not the person behind the idol, the artist. We're talking about their performances and what they put in the project, because as I've said, if you're gonna tell me Big Hit is the best company if you wanna be an idol and have freedom, then Jimin cannot release an album that is as bad as this. Simple as that. That's the way I view it. So we're talking about that more than just, oh, I don't like Jimin. I don't know the guy. I will never know him, and I like the guy, honestly. But the album itself was not good. Similar for everybody else on this list. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget that, and see you with the next video.